The video you're watching is on controlling the gamma properties on your screen. I'm going to show you two utilities. One of them comes with Windows 7 and above called Display Color Calibration, or dccw for Windows, so it's Display Color Calibration for Windows. In my case, it's running under the directory Windows System 32, and it's dccw. And if you hit details, it tells you it's a Microsoft program. It's 800 kbytes. Over here we have one that's 113 kbytes and only does the gamma, and it's listed as being named GAPA, and it's just the gamma panel executable. And this is made by Tomas's port, I can't pronounce it, and made in 2002. And it was made by a guy in Poland. And that's all there is to it. Now that's the one here down here, and I'll just show you really quickly. It has brightness, contrast, etc., and you can grab gamma and move it up and down. And it may or may not be visible on your screen when I manipulate these things. And it allows profiles for whatever you want, and I've named one of them night vision and one normal. Some of you who are watching the video obviously know what this is. Inside of video games, you can do what a lot of people call a cheat by changing how much the dynamic range works in a video game. The thing about that is the gamma adjustment is something that's done inside of older video games because older monitors had trouble doing full dynamic range. For instance, in the background here, I could be having a completely black background, which is what I'm using, but I could also have a picture in the background that has just two colors in it. One of them literally black, and the other one 125th or 226th of a unit higher, and it would have a text in the background that's impossible to see in most cases that would just say made you look, or you lost the game or whatever. Now the reason these are used obviously in video games is to give you night vision. Obviously that's why I labeled it that way, but it's also used, and here's the reason you're not really able to make it into a cheat, is in order for accessibility for people who are visually impaired under a set of rules, you have to have in most operating systems for them to be considered acceptable in many ways, depending on what organization you're dealing with. It has to accommodate people who are visually impaired. And one of the ways to do that is to be able to change the contrast, the gamma, the brightness, like grabbing the contrast and really making it change a lot. Now, you might have noticed, if depending on which one of these I'm messing with, that when I mess with the gamma, it may or may not be visible. I'm going to show you that one. That's the gamma panel on the lower left. And we're going to hit next, next. And yes, that's bad behavior on Microsoft's part, writing their program that way. Now I can reset the gamma. Let's say I grab the gamma and move it over here, and I hit reset here. It will change it, and the program on the lower left, doesn't know that I've done that. They're not talking to each other. They're both manipulating the same knobs, but they're arguing over them. Anyway, let's grab this and turn it all the way up, and you will or will not be able to see it. You can leave this in the background minimized while you play your video game for night vision mode, or what a lot of people do, just leave it jacked all the way up and play the game and never change it. And again, the reason this isn't treated as a cheat and really shouldn't be is its primary use is for people who are visually impaired and or people who have really crappy monitors. And a lot of people have monitors that say they have a large dynamic range, but they don't. The minimum that you can sell a monitor for and say that it has a true color is 256:1 on one of the colors. You can have colors on the screen that are absolutely horrid, and still it would be called true color. Yes, there's a bunch of legal definitions and lawyers got involved. So when that happens, people will alter it. They'll bend this curve over here all over the place. They'll, for instance, let's say it's red, green, and blue. Let's do blue here. They'll manipulate each color individually to fix a bad monitor. Also, in the old days, if you had a monitor that was old, you could use this kind of utility to correct it system-wide for everything running under Windows. That was the point. That's why this color calibration thing is done. This is for old, tired, broken monitors, as well as, honestly, if you're dealing with a bad video card or just everything's cheap and everything's made poorly. This lets you get as much dynamic range squeezed for red, green, blue, and then also for the full dynamic range. In this case, it says linked, for you to have control over the monitor. And this allows you, in most cases, to compensate for poor monitors so you can see better. This reduces eye strain and that sort of thing. But obviously, someone can grab a knob and get an advantage in a video game, they're going to do it. And the reason it isn't excluded and against the rules and whatever is for that same reason. You have to be able to not just play a video game, you have to be able to do the basics of using your computer according to the rules. And here we have, I can change the profile to night vision and normal, or just reset. Anyway, just thought I'd show that to everybody. And yes, the TSR is written by somebody who didn't necessarily write it well. Okay. I mean, it's kind of screwing up a little. So yeah, anyway, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have a good day. And yeah, you may or may not have seen anything on the screen at all, because this the video capture software I have does not show the gamma correction in the screen. Bye.